Hi everybody, I'm Joey. Well, in this video we'll be making this vanity. Now it's going to be going into my new house, which is under construction, which you may have seen on my channel already. And really for me this was just an exercise in design. I spent a bit of time thinking about what I wanted, and then when it came to actually making it, I just kind of kept sticking to my guns on my design, which meant I made a few mistakes in construction terms, but I ended up with something looking like what I wanted it to look like right from the start. And so I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. It's going to be floating. It's going to sit on a steel bracket on this end, and that end's going to butt up against the wall. And I'm going to stick around, see how I did it. Hope you enjoy. So I started by just making some shapes and kind of designs on SketchUp, and then just kept moving shapes around until I found something that I thought looked pretty cool. And I could start cutting up the cedar for the top. And I could flatten it off in my drum sander. And cut the miters on one end and one side. I need to cut a groove for the sliding dovetailed joint that's going to hold the carcass onto the top. And now I'm just using the side rivet plane with the dovetail fence to make that sliding dovetail joint. As it turns out, I didn't really need to do these joints because I ended up using screws and things later on, but it was a good practice. And this is my template for routing the hole for the undermount basin sink. Using a pattern bit, I can shape the top of the hole to the right shape for the basin. And then using a large bit with the bearing guide on the bottom, I can square up the rest of the hole, and then I can start working on the big rebate so the basin sits down into the bottom of the top. So then I can put the mitered side and end on the top, and I'm just dominoing it and using a 2-pot epoxy. Now about here I realize that I'm going to be gluing this across the grain of the top, so there's really not going to be any expansion or contraction happening. So those sliding dovetail joints I did earlier are kind of pointless, but again, a good exercise. And I've got a sheet of mixed hardwood plywood. It's pretty heavy duty, and it has marine glue, and these will make up all the carcass pieces. I've made this rebate before I glued on the front and side. Anyway, I forgot, so I'm doing it now. I can't quite get all the way to the ends, but it's still going to work. I'm just adding the dovetail to the carcass side, which will go into the cedar top. And it's the first time doing this on plywood, and it actually worked pretty good. This piece I had to take out and actually cut shorter. I'd made it too long, so good thing I hadn't put any glue in there yet. And then I can just domino up the other parts of the carcass. And I actually had the domino referenced off the wrong point here, so put the hole in the wrong place. And luckily it's mostly hidden, so I didn't bother cutting another piece for this. Now you're looking at the carcass upside down, and I wasn't anticipating on the wobble there, so just added a small piece of ply
which will be on the bottom of the vanity, just to space the pieces right, because I'm going to have drawers in that space. And then I'm just putting a coat of Everdur epoxy. It's the same as what I put on my bath, just to waterproof the top. And once that was dry, I coated the whole thing in about 4 coats of water-based polyurethane. While that was all drying, I can get on with making the drawer fronts. And I could cut all the drawer fronts to size while I was waiting for my drawer runners to show up. And give them a bit of a clean up, and then they went off and got 4 coats of polyurethane as well. Just getting ready to glue in the basin, so I'm just masking around the edges of the vanity top and the basin, just to minimize the kind of spread of all the adhesive. Then I could clean up the XX squeeze out and actually remove the masking tape straight away, and ended up with a pretty clean finish. It's not permanent this time around, but see the little overflow somewhere there?
Yeah.
Goes into the notch. Ah. It doesn't look fair.
Yep.
I bought the wrong one. So I have these, a few of these big steel brackets left over from, well, they were never used on a job. So I'm going to use these a couple of times in the new house. And this one, I just need to cut this end down just the right length. And this end is going to bolt onto the studs in the wall in the bathroom, and then this will stick out of the wall, and the vanity will hang off this steel bracket. So I could get on with making the drawers, so I had to cut the drawer bottoms and backs. Because I'm using 18mm ply and the drawers are made for 16mm stock, I just had to make a small rebate in the side so the drawer bottom would fit into the runner. And then this is my first time using these fancy push to open and soft close drawers, so there was a bit of instruction reading. These are Blum drawers, and they're not quite the same as putting their regular drawers in, so there was a bit of shagging around and learning curve getting these to sit right, but I got there. So it turned out these small drawers are really a bit too lightweight for the soft close mechanism to actually kind of kick in. But with the drawer front on, later on, it actually worked pretty good. Could put the drawer front brackets on and then clip them into the drawers. Right, so the whole drawer carcass that hangs off the vanity is not touching the wall. It's about 15 millimeters away, and so I'm going to put some LED strip around the back and in the little cubby at the front to just to make it look cool, really, and show off the fact that it's fully floating. And so I was able to find this LED kit, and they had these cool little corner kind of connections, which meant it was much easier to get around the corner. And
so the kit I have, you come with a driver which I can connect into to run my LEDs, so that I could just plug my LED strip straight into there and they would be on. I want a switch, and so the company I'm buying this from sells these kits where they give you lots of length, which is good for some projects but not for mine. So pretty much I'm just going to leave all this cable bundled as it is, because it's going in a very small space. So what I've got is a sensor switch, so I don't actually have to touch it, just have to wave my hand very close to it. So that will go underneath the vanity top. You can walk up to it and wave your fingers and the light's going to go on. Unfortunately I have all those cables to go with it, but that means I can do all the wiring myself, so that is pretty handy.
And then I can put the infrared sensor, which I'm not sure if it's infrared, but you don't have to touch it to turn the lights on and off. There's a bit of a issue trying to get that little switch in, but she fitted in the end. And I made a pretty quick, dirty false back in the little cubby hole to hide all the wires, and just has a little magnet on there, so I can get easy access if I need to. And the next time you see this, I'll be installing it into the new house, so maybe 2 months away and get another video on this. Thanks for watching everybody. See you next time.